We're not recording in suburbia anymore. So if you hear an ambulance, sirens, just noise, I'm in a city, okay? I'm in a city, so pardon me, please. Pardon me. There you go. This is what happens when you live in Atlanta. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Alicia if you're lazy, not Elishama. If you are stubborn, just Alicia. Now that we've gotten past this hurdle, okay? Because, you were mad at me that I abandoned you and we weren't talking, but we're good now. Now that we're past that, let's get back into it, okay? In my series entitled I had been talking about my diagnosis with an autoimmune disorder called juvenile dermatomyositis, which is an autoimmune disease or a chronic disorder, which means that I'm supposed to have it forever. I don't really buy that. Dermatomyositis, derma is skin, myositis is like muscles, and juvenile means, child, but I'm legal. If you need a little refresher, go back and watch my other videos. I'm not gonna sit here and explain it to you when you should know what's going on already. You shouldn't depend on me to explain what's going on to you when you should know. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you already know? I guess if you want to say it's because it's been 10 months since you posted, that's fine. But go back and watch. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about January 2018. And just a little recap, as of right now, my dad's back in Ghana. Shawty cannot move her arms, like fully extend her arms like past here. I'm having skin rashes, I'm having muscle stiffness. So that's pretty much where I was at. My skin just continues to progress and get worse. I have like dark spots, like weird spots all over my face. My body is super stiff. It's just like, it had no fluidity, like it was just so stiff, like I could not move. My brother would have to like tie my shoes for me, so I was also losing my range of motion. Like getting up and sitting down was really hard for me. Bending down was really hard for me. When I would wake up in the morning, it'd just be like painful. At this time too, I was also learning how to drive, so when I would be driving, it would be difficult. Like I was still working through it because I didn't really know that I had an issue at the time, so I was still doing everything that I needed to do. But I would be driving, and instead of whipping the hoe like that,
man, I'm finna whip this hoe.
I'm like it's just really hard for me to do it because I had so much stiffness in my body, and that became like really difficult for me. And then I was losing so much more weight. Like at that point, you could see like my clavicle, you could see my shoulders, like the bones of those things, and like things were just progressing and getting really bad really quickly. Around mid-January, my mom was getting her CNA, which is like the certification, I think, to, I don't know if it's like a nurse, I don't really know, but I think you help old people with the CNA. So she was getting her CNA, so I was gonna be her pretend patient to help her with her tests and stuff. So she's like, oh, of course, yeah, please, let's test the range of motion, help me do it, whatever. I'm like, okay, mommy, of course, I'll help you. I had to be her pretend patient. But it's funny because I was about to be a patient, but I didn't have the patience to, okay, I'm gonna stop. But yeah, so she's like, oh, just fully extend your arm for me. And I'm like, girl, I can't do that. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I can't extend my arms. They don't extend, they stop. And she was like, you can't extend your arms? And I was like, no, girl, I can't extend my arms, otherwise I would. She was like, are you serious? Since when? I'm like, girl, I couldn't even tell you since when, but I can't extend my arms. That's what me and dad were talking about before he left. Like, that was an issue that I was having. And she was like, this is not good. Like, we need to go see the doctor. So here's another issue about some doctors. So The doctors that I would have to see are specialized doctors. So if you are in a specialty, let's say like dermatology, rheumatology, cardiology, all the ologies, those doctors are not doctors you can just like walk into their offices at any time. Like you have to make appointments, and they're booked really far ahead. So we called to find a rheumatologist. Guys, it's January. We called. He said the closest appointment I would have would be in April. So they were like, "Yeah, girl, you just gonna have to thug it out. You just gonna have to thug it out." I was like, "Okay, I could do that. Like that's my brand. Like That's where we were at. We're like, okay, we'll take it, but we don't really know what we can do about that. And my mom was like getting more concerned. Meanwhile, my dad isn't gone up. So we had this appointment for April, and it's just like, okay, cool, whatever. Guys, you know how I was talking about how I fall constantly throughout this series? This fall right here is the worst one. Bible, I can't even say that there was anything worse. This is actually the worst fall. So when I was in high school, I used to go to this church. I was like really involved in it, and I was a student mentor. So for middle school services, like I would go, I'd be a leader. I had like a small group of girls that I would like pray with, help, all that type of stuff. And then the student leaders would also help set up for the service and then help clean up for the service. So there was this one day after the service, everyone's cleaning up, we're all having fun, da-da-da-da. And so the middle schoolers, they're playing around, and they basically were like, we're gonna make a tunnel, and then like everyone should like run under the tunnel. Like, I don't know, it was fun. So like, two kids will like stand together and they'll put their arms up like this. And so they created this nice little like tunnel walkway thing. So everyone's like running under it, da-da-da. I'm cleaning up, and they're like, oh, Alicia, coming under our tunnel. I'm like, okay, kids, sure. I love kids, I'm for the people, let me do it. So meanwhile, I'm also eating a slice of pizza. I had a slice of pizza in my hand. I'm like multitasking, like putting up whatever. They're like, Alicia, come around. I'm like, okay, guys. I start running under the middle school tunnel, and halfway, my legs decided to disgrace me and my whole family line. They shamed me. They shamed everything I stand for in this life, and they said, no, you're not gonna prosper today. And I fell on hard concrete. Hard suburban concrete. My head kissed the floor in the middle of the tunnel. The kids broke apart like, what just happened? And in the time, in my head, I was like, one of those little rascals tripped me. I'm sure of it. They sabotaged me, and they were like, wouldn't it be funny to trip the black girl? That's what was going through my head. In hindsight, I now know that it was not the kids. So kids, I apologize if you're watching this. I really thought that y'all did me dirty. You didn't. Good kids of faith. It was my legs. My legs gave out on me because they literally didn't have enough strength to hold my weight up, and be running it at that time. So I fell. And at first, everyone was kind of like, ha ha ha. One thing about me is when something embarrassing happens to me, I just have to sit in it. I have to bask and ruminate it. Like, that really just happened, and then I get over it. So everyone's like, is she good? She's still on the floor. The girl is still on the floor. So they looking at me like, this girl is still lying on the floor. We thought it was funny at first, but she not getting up. I'm like, I'm good, y'all, I'm good. Like, no worries, it's fine. Just had a little tripsy daisy. It's all good. So the guys helped me up, and like, we're gonna take you to the back office because we need you to sign some papers. You do not want to be liable for this. Whatever happened to you, we don't want to be liable. And I was like, that's fine, guys, because I'm straight. I'm straight, y'all. I'm good. I was concussed. Yeah. At the time, I was like, guys, I don't have a concussion. I very much had a concussion. I very much did. Yeah. I had one of my friends drop me off at Michelle's house instead of my house because no one was home at the time. So I told Michelle, I was like, girl, you will never believe what happened. And I told her, and there's actually a picture of what I look like. So this was that. I was very much concussed. They gave me some ice. My pizza flew across the room. I don't even know where it went, but I was chilling. But my whole issue, I literally did not want to miss school. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I have stuff to do this week. I had to take my driver's test. I had a quiz. I was like so scared, and my mom was just like, no, girl, you don't have to go to school. It's fine. So the next day, we wanted to go see a doctor to make sure, you know, Sonny wasn't concussed. We had just seen this new doctor that we were trying out, that someone else had recommended to us, and this doctor was a Black doctor, and he was an African doctor, and he was a Nigerian doctor. So already that put my mind at ease, because it was just easier for him to empathize with me, because, you know, we both from the same place. And that's a thing that people tend to overlook, like how being represented by people who look like you and have experiences like you affect your experience as a patient. That's a really important thing. That's why if you want to be a doctor, not even if you want to be a doctor, if you want to do anything, do that thing, because you never know who you're going to inspire or be the face of representation for. So we see this doctor. I walk into the office. The nurse looks at me and she goes, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "Girl, you tell me." And she was like, "No, what is wrong with you?" And I was like, well, I was running, I was running a little too hard and I fell, and I'm trying to see if I can cuss." And she like stopped me mid-sentence and she was like, "No, you look sick. What is wrong with you?" And I was like, I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be here. Now what up? So she had me talk to the doctor, and we weren't even there for all the other health stuff that I was going through. But I ended up telling him that stuff, and he was like, "No, there's something seriously wrong, and we need to get you some help, like some serious help." And I was like, "Okay, well," we made an appointment to see a rheumatologist, but he can only see me in April. And he was like, "No, you have to go through the ER. If you go through the ER, you'll get immediate attention and you won't have to wait as long, because this is a serious problem that you're going through. Like, we don't know what's going on, but this needs to be attended to really quickly." He thought that it was either fibromyalgia off rip. He thought it was fibromyalgia or juvenile dermatomyositis. That's what he thought that it was. So I'm like, okay. So then I missed another day of school. Me and my mom, we went to the ER. We were there for like 7 hours. I think it was flu season as well, so a lot of people were in the ER wearing masks, ironically. Before masks were the normal. I was getting super anxious because like I need to go and do my homework. I also have to take my driver's test tomorrow, so I can't really, be chilling in the ER. So, hurry up and give me some drugs and let me go. So I finally see the doctor, and he is like, "Okay, we're gonna do some blood work." So we do the blood work, and he's like, "All right, well, we're gonna admit you." And I was like, "Admit? What you gotta tell me? What are you talking about?" And he's like, we're gonna admit you to the hospital." And I was like, "But why though?" And he was like, "Because we have to keep you in here to do some tests, run some things, there's something going on, and we have to get to the root of it." And I was like, "Okay, Doc, like that's cute or whatever, but I got my driver's test tomorrow, so can we, maybe like reschedule on the whole like hospital admittance thing?" And he was like, "You can't take your driver's test if you're dead." Well, damn, when you put it that way. And I was like, "All right, true tea, whatever. You're right. Okay. Like, true tea, Doc. You know what? You're right." So, obviously, they admitted me into the hospital. I was with my mom, and so my mom called my dad and got us to tell him, like, she's in the hospital, but, like, she's fine, but the doctor recommended that she stayed there, so she called my brothers. She had my brothers go, like, bring some stuff for me to stay in the hospital, like, like a bag, just toothbrush, some clothes, all that, and some food, because your girl was hungry. They would not let me eat. I hadn't eaten in, like, 7 hours, so I had to, I got a little McChicken for snack. I was in the hospital, and, I just pretty much told everyone, and, like, called some people, like, "Hey, I'm in the hospital, just letting you know." And then I emailed all my teachers. I was like, "Hey, y'all, like, can you guys email me my work so I can get it done? Because, I don't want to catch behind." And they were like, "No, crazy girl, crazy silly girl. You're not going to email you stuff. You're in the hospital. Like, focus on getting better." And I was like, "Okay, I guess." My physics teacher, he was such a mean man. He did not want to be a teacher. Every day he would come in and tell us how much he hated teaching us and how much he hated his job. So I sent him a little sachet email, which I will attach here because everyone thinks this is so funny that I sent this. But I sent him that email and got all my ducks in a row, and I had a little slumber party in the hospital. Yeah. yeah, that was the majority of January. So tune into my next video to see what happens, and I will see you guys in entry 4. Entry 4 is gonna be a little tearjerker. So make sure to get your tissues, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all the YouTubery stuff. Don't forget it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.